2, 3, 1. Hey, it's me, Elay, pronounced like LA like the city. I'm not from there, but I'm breezy though. Ninth grade in full effect. I have officially entered high school and I am on my way to adulthood. I am officially a young adult per se. Ninth grade was cool. It was a nice change of scenery and environment. I must say I was nervous about it though. I mean, geez, it was a big change, a big difference. I think what I was more nervous about was just really letting go and being myself and submerging myself into the freedom of knowing that I was around bigger kids, and I mean, this was it. I liked how ninth grade really separated everybody. I mean, if folks didn't change in 8th grade, like how I felt the change naturally internally to just really want to grow more and evolve, people were really feeling themselves then. Amongst the nerves of being, freshmen, but just stepping into the fact that, yo, this is the last four, man. You're either with it or you're not, because there's no more school after this. It's basically you're on your own. People really came into their own more so in 9th grade than anything. And I loved it because it really put a severance there with a lot of people, a distance. The popular kids that were popular to us in our circle had to start all the way from the bottom and work their way back up to being a part of the school populace, because there were other people running the show now, big dogs, and I love that there was more superior people over us, opposed to the people we grew up with and the cliques and stuff and who was popular amongst our class of 2002. There was someone else that was better than them, per se. It was just even the playing field so everybody could build their own rapport to start their own identity over again. With me, I still was the same, so nothing changed too much except for the fact that I was fighting for my soul independence from both of those girls. It took a little while, but I believe in 9th grade I officially made it official. It was either 9th grade or 10th grade. I don't know. That's a shame. It's been so long. I want to say 9th grade or 10th grade. During lunch, it had to be 9th, when the tall skinny girl was waiting for me for lunch. Because the other girl had second lunch or something like that. So the tall light-skinned girl was like, hey, I'm waiting for you for lunch, basically. And I just told her, hey, I'm going to go over to lunch by myself. We were by the bathrooms. And she was like, what? What's wrong? And I'm like, here we go again in my head. How come people just can't respect what I want sometimes? But I was like, because I just want to be alone, which is true. I just want to be by myself. Took her a minute to get it. And apparently she didn't know what was wrong with me. Apparently, how could someone so nice not want to eat with me? That's the only conclusion I could figure she was thinking, because it's like she just was dumbfounded why I was rejecting her. But you had to respect the fact that I wanted to be alone. So she backed off and went to lunch, and oh my gosh, that felt so good. It was a relief. I was a little nervous because I was more nervous about the fact that this was going to turn into some type of unnecessary back and forth. I just didn't want that. And also was nervous and exhausted a little bit over the fact that I even had to say it again. But that was that. And we quit eating lunch together. I just couldn't. Our social differences, what was the last straw with me was, one day we were walking somewhere together. I don't know what period of class it was, but it was after lunch. And she was talking to me about her so-called friend that she knew way longer than me, the brown-skinned girl with the fluffy hair. She was talking about her in such a way. Now, this was more than a few times I caught her starting to talking about her so-called friend on the side of her mouth. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I thought that was her friend. Why would she be talking about her outer appearance and her personal life to me in a way that was rude? So I didn't address this to the tall, light-skinned girl. It just made me feel like I had to vomit on the inside, because I'm like, I'm more loyal to the dark brown girl with the fluffy hair than you are to her. And I haven't even been around her that much. You've been around her for years, and the way you're talking about her to me behind your back, and it's been more than once. But this last time, I couldn't stomach it anymore. I thought maybe she was going to change. I got sick, and I had to separate myself from her, because I'm like, if she's talking about that girl so bad, heaven knows she's talking about me too, but probably worse, because I had a lot of things people could talk about me about. You know, I could. A lot of people could talk about me, and probably were talking about me, all having a field day about how I dressed, how I act, how I was this and that, you know, Lord knows what. So that was the last straw. I was like, I'm done with her. So I had to take the stand, because that girl was draining me. I had no idea that there was such thing as people emotionally draining you, but she was. It's just something wasn't right with her that didn't sit well with me. And it wasn't about no over religious stuff. I called that shot to separate myself from her. Because my parents really liked that I was around people who was of the Lord, apparently. But I caught that shot on my own, because I know she was mean to that girl, and she was so nice. I didn't have nothing good coming. And I didn't want to be talking about her behind her back neither, just for us to possibly get closer, because that's not what friends do. So because I thought about it, I'm like, nope, she's not even worth it. Just because we look alike don't mean I should accept her as my friend or keep hanging around her. Heaven knows I wanted a real sister to hang around and a friend, but not at this cost. So I cut ties with her. I officially stood my ground that day, and if she didn't get it then, I don't know what it was going to take. It probably would have been a fight, because I couldn't say it any clearer than that. I don't want to eat with you, and I don't want to eat lunch with you. That was 9th grade. First day of school, 9th grade. I don't want to hang out. I don't want to eat with you. I want to eat by myself. She went her way. I went on in the bathroom, got myself together, and then I went and exercised using my off-campus privileges, and I went to Taco Bell, and I ordered me something. First day of school, already. I think it was the first day of 9th grade. I just know it was the first day of school in high school. And, it was already a humdinger. A cloud of depression already started, because in my head, I knew how the rest of the year was going to be. It was going to be awkward for a minute, and I don't know what she was saying. Because, people were going to ask, why aren't y'all hanging out together? You guys are always together. In my mind, we were always together, but it was more of a tolerability on my end than a want. Because we just didn't click. We didn't click. We were opposites, man. We just didn't click. She was competitive. I wasn't. I was into boys, but not like how she was into boys. She liked to sing, I did too, but not as much as she did. She liked to gossip, I didn't. She just acted like the typical type of girl that I just don't care to be around. And that's it, but I tried, and thanks for your friendship and your friends and your sisters, but that was just a turning point where I saw I didn't fit in there anymore. I didn't really want to have anything to do with that. That it was more of a chaotic thing than anything, because our personalities had panned off differently. They lined up and now they were turning. I was going left and she was going right, and it was just too much of a divide to just hold on to, so I didn't. So thus began my official lonely road as an outsider in high school, and boy did I love it. I was glad I took a stand, and I like being a friend to others opposed to just looking for a friend. Eventually the girl and I would say hi and bye, but that's all I really wanted to limit it to. I didn't really want it to be more than that because the energy was too staticky. I just didn't like it. It was like, frenemies. Before there was a term frenemies, that's how it was. The energy was coming off from her. Her energy was like more of a frenemy. And with me, I just solely wanted the cleanliness of a friendship. And so, as you can see, that's not gonna work. That's just not gonna work. That's just not how it's going to work. It was more like that. Her energy, she wanted to be a friend of me, but not a real friend. And I wanted to be a real friend. And that's the energy I was feeling. That was the opposition I was feeling with that girl. But I didn't have the words at that time to describe what it was, because frenemy and stuff didn't start coming out till way after we graduated. But that's the perfect word. I don't want to be a friend with a frenemy. It's toxic, and that's what she was. And I don't even know if she knew it or not. But I separated myself, and I'm glad I did. And I still to this day would just say hi and bye, but that's it. That's all I got. I don't even want to say that anymore. I'm done completely. Thank God. I am who I am. It is what it is. So 9th grade, I took a stand for myself and chose to be a loner and just be a friend to others and keep to myself and be proud of it. Thank you, Jesus, for giving me that strength. Yes, I cried. I had a lot of days where I cried at night because I was lonely. Not saying the path that I took would be easy, but nonetheless, it was my own personal choice. I had no idea I was suffering from depression either. I didn't know that. Because, stuff like that don't fly in our house. Not in the house of God. And daughter of mine sad. That's just the devil. What, you up to something? Why you always sad? So I had to pretend a lot to be happy. I know in school I was happy and sad at the same time. A lot of the reasons I was happy was because I was out of the house. The house was a hell. It was depressing. So I was happy to be around a different environment. But in that environment, I still felt isolated and alone. So I was constantly feeding that depressive cloud because I was at home. It was super depressive, double depressive. But when I went to school, it was still depressive. So that depressive state never left me. It still followed me. I had no idea I was dealing with depression until, unfortunately, I was 35 years old. That's a whole nother video, man. I started learning about me way too late in the game, man. That's all I can say. And a lot of stuff was hidden from me that I honestly had no clue of. So all that I can say is I love my husband and I'm glad he stayed by my side through all of this stuff, and he got to see for himself hands-on how my upbringing really altered the way I view everything now. My husband is super cool. I'm thankful I have him. So let's say 9th grade was awesome. I stood up for myself. I don't regret that at all. If I could go back in time just to watch that moment over, I would, because that was one of the most proudest moments in school, one of them, that I could say that altered my path to help me be more firm in choosing friends and standing my ground. That laid a good foundation. So if anything, I'm thankful that I ran into a friend of me, because it helped lay down a really good path of foundation for me to know how to say I don't have to tolerate being around people just to fill a void of loneliness. I'm just going to be lonely and live with it and make the most of it, because it's way more healthier than hanging around bullshit and making my life even that much more complicated, when in the end they don't even like you like that anyways. I'm out.